I had always trusted my husband, Mark, completely. We were married for 5 years, sharing dreams, bills, and even small routines that made life feel stable. My sister, Lisa, was like a shadow in my life, someone I confided in, laughed with, and trusted as family. I never imagined that the two people I loved most could betray me in the most unimaginable way. It started with small hints. Mark coming home late, for work, more often than usual. Lisa making excuses to visit, seemingly innocuous, but always overlapping with Mark's absences. I tried to push the suspicion away, telling myself I was overthinking, letting jealousy and paranoia cloud my judgment. But the feeling in my gut refused to lie. Something was off. One weekend, I decided to follow my instincts. I told myself I was being unreasonable, but the unease was too strong to ignore. I went to Mark's office, saying I had forgotten some documents. Instead of his office, I found a small apartment building he had mentioned in passing months ago. The hallway was quiet, and I could hear laughter and familiar voices. I opened the door slowly, heart pounding, and froze. There they were, Mark and Lisa, together in a way that made my stomach drop to the floor. Everything I thought I knew, every trust one had, shattered instantly. I felt like I couldn't breathe, like the ground beneath me had disappeared. I didn't scream. I didn't attack. I stood there, frozen, as they didn't even notice me yet. Then, finally, Mark looked up, and I saw the recognition in his eyes. Guilt, panic, and a fleeting hope that I would leave without confronting the truth. But I didn't. I turned, left quietly, and drove home, my mind racing, my heart broken. That night, I didn't call, I didn't text, I didn't cry. I made a decision. I couldn't stay in a marriage built on betrayal. I couldn't remain in a family that allowed such toxicity to exist. I spent hours making a plan, contacting a lawyer, securing my finances, and preparing for the confrontation that would follow. The next day, I met Mark at a neutral location. I didn't yell. I didn't beg. I showed him the evidence, calmly explaining what I had seen, what I knew, and how it had destroyed my trust. He tried to justify, to plead, to blame, but none of it mattered. The marriage was over. I filed for divorce immediately, cutting ties with him and securing my independence. Then came the hardest part, dealing with my family. Lisa, who I had loved like a sister, tried to manipulate me, apologize, and guilt me into forgiving her. But the betrayal was too deep. I realized that this toxic behavior, these lies, and the willingness to hurt me for selfish desire, could no longer be tolerated. I made the painful decision to cut her out of my life completely. Friends were shocked. Family members tried to intervene, offering advice or expecting me to forgive and forget. But I had learned a crucial lesson. Boundaries are essential for survival, and self-respect must come first. I couldn't allow myself to be treated as an option, a doormat, or a second thought. Months passed. I focused on rebuilding my life, moving to a new apartment, focusing on my career, reconnecting with friends who genuinely cared, and rediscovering hobbies I had abandoned. The pain didn't disappear overnight, but with each passing day, the weight of betrayal lightened. I realized that freedom from toxic relationships was far more valuable than holding on to any sense of family loyalty. I met people who inspired me, friendships that felt like home, and slowly, I began to trust again. Not blindly, but carefully, wisely, and intentionally. I learned that love is not just about forgiveness. It's about knowing when to walk away, when to protect yourself, and when to choose dignity over drama. Looking back, I see now that the betrayal, as devastating as it was, became my catalyst for growth. I stopped seeking validation from those who hurt me and started seeking strength from within. I found joy in independence, pride in self-reliance, and peace in knowing that I would never again allow betrayal to define my worth. I no longer speak to Mark or Lisa. I no longer let their actions overshadow my life. And for the first time in years, I feel light, free, and truly myself. I am not just surviving. I am thriving. I am building a life where honesty, respect, and love are not optional. They are essential. In the end, I realized something profound. Betrayal can break you, but it can also teach you the value of self-respect, the strength to walk away, and the courage to cut ties with toxicity. I lost a husband and a sister, yes, but I gained myself, my dignity, my peace, and my freedom. And no one, not even the people I loved most, can take that away from me.